So here are the problems we were talking about. This one down. Give you the answers to these, and I think everything's going. Oh, somebody wants into my class. I'm not going to do the live. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how we did on these problems. These right here for my class. Okay, number one. You work out of the book, I believe. First one here, 327. Oh, this was a nice one. Y equals, and you could just write 3 to the x. Now, if you put a 1 in front of that, is that okay? Of course it is. If you want to go ahead and put 1 times 3 to the x, that is just as good. Be fine with that. The second one there, and then we'll do any of these that you want to do, would be y equals 1/8 times 2 to the x. That's the second one. And the last one here, extend this page, the last one here I gave you was that one. Oh, I like that. Y equals 4.99 times 0.499 raised to the x. Okay. So those are the 3 I asked you to try. How many of you keep getting buzzes in your mouth every once in a while? Yeah. It's just disgusting. I just, bleh. Okay, so what do you think? Yeah. I will do the third one, yeah.
I got like a different answer for the third one.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do it then. We'll see.
Yeah, I got like a radical. But it, like, I put it on decimal center.
For number 3?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and look at it. So, on here, let me go ahead and take these, copy this. Let's go to a new page. So, first step, I want to write 2 different equations. We're using my ordered pairs. So, this one, I would put 10 equals AB to the -1. And then this one over here would be 0.31 equals AB to the 4th. Right? Now, I'm going to take this one and solve it for what? A. So here, A would be equal to what? 10B. Correct? Because remember, if that you don't get that, this is equivalent to this. This is what? 1 over B. Think of it like that. So I'd be what? Multiply both sides by B, I'd be at this part right here. Okay? What do I do with that? I substitute this in place of A on the other equation. So I get 0.31 equals 10B to the what? 10B to the 5th power? Because this would be 10B to the 1st. 1 and 4 is 5. Okay, so now what? Divide by 10. Dividing by 10 does what to the decimal point? Moves it 1 to the left. So I'm going to get 0.031 equals B to the 5th. Now, so if you're doing this, you would raise to the 1/5 power or take the 5th root. They're the same thing. I have a feeling that they must have actually done that on their work. They got a decimal version of that. So let me go ahead. I'm going to just get my calculator out. I think I took it home with me over the weekend. I did. There it is. So 0.031 raised to the 1/5 power. Yeah, so this is 0.4 roughly. Did you get that?
I just had it in an exact answer.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is the books. So if you left it as an exact answer, that's just as good. That's not a problem. Okay? Once you have that, though, what do you do with it? You now take this and you plug it in this equation here. So A is equal to 10 times 0.499, which means A is equal to 4.99. And then once you have that, then you can write your equation. Y equals A, 4.99 times 0.499 to the x. Okay? If you left it as an exact, that's completely fine. No problem. I'm cool with that. Okay. What do you guys think about that in general? Is that pretty easy for the most part? As long as you know that you have to do what? Set up two equations, solve one for A, substitute it in the other one, solve for B, plug it back in. It's just the same process every single time with these. All right. So I can tell you on the test, there's one question like that. There's one question like that on the test because I was kind of changing my test over the weekend. There will be one question where I ask you to write an exponential function which passes through two given points. Okay, so make sure you can do that. All right. Anybody want to ask anything about the other two questions here? Yeah.
Will you want an exact answer for that, or will you want like?
I'll tell you on the test. And on the test, I think it might be so that it is nice that you don't have to worry about it. It's more like these are up here, I think, the test one is. Because if you understand that, that's what I care about, the process of it. Nobody has a question on the other ones? We can do the second one. We've got 3-1 and 5-4. Okay. So write my equation. So this one is going to be 1 equals AB cubed. And this one is 4 equals AB to the 5th. I always take the one that has b to a smaller exponent, and that's the one I work with. So that's this one over here. So I'm going to solve this for a, which means a is 1 over b to the 3rd. Plug that in here. So 4 equals 1 over b to the 3rd times b to the 5th, which is over 1, of course. This gives me 4 equals b squared. 5 minus 3 is 2. Square root. And bases always have to be positive, so I would only want the positive root. There's that. Plug that in there. So a is 1 over 2 cubed, which is 1/8. So that gives me my y equals 1/8 times 2x. Anyone else? All righty. Woo! Time to get on them there thinking hats. So this challenge today is 2 parts. It's 2 parts. I'm going to give you the first part now. And then I'll give you the second part next period. This is bonus. Challenge, it's bonus too. This can help you. So we're going to read this together. And I'll kind of explain what you're doing here. So here we go. It says the following: murder in the tropics. Detective Rachel Mitter has just been called in to help solve a murder case which happened last night. At 8 a.m., she arrives at Lincoln Park to find the body of singer Billy Bora Bora lying in the snow. she immediately gets an internal temperature reading from the body as 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Takes out her cell phone to find the temperature where she is standing is 22 degrees and has been from 11 o'clock last night until right now. Mitter talks with the others at the scene and finds out that Billy Bora Bora had been singing at a local establishment the night before. 30 minutes later, she takes another temperature reading from the deceased and gets a temperature of 61 degrees. Detective Mitter notices heel marks in the snow, which indicate the body was dragged over and left where it was found. The heel marks lead to the back door of the news restaurant, The Tropics. After recovering a surveillance tape of the back door, she watches, and sure enough, she sees the body being dragged out into the snow at 4:30 a.m. The killer's face can't be seen. She goes inside the building and finds the building is kept at a constant 72 degrees Fahrenheit. An infrared scanner inside the building recorded the temperatures of two large items at 2:30 a.m. One was 98.6 and the other was 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Detective Mitter takes all the information she has gathered and the knowledge that a human body has an internal temperature of 98.6 when living. Help Detective Mitter find out what time the body was murdered in the tropics. On the back, flip it over. This is still part of this. After Detective Mitter establishes the time of murder, she looks at the building's digital entry records to see who was working that night. One of the names of the list jumps out. The night custodian is none other than Maddie Pummel, or as the police know her, Maddie the Pummeler. She was notorious for leaving her favorite snack remnants at every hit she performed. Sure enough, they had found white Cheez-Its in the snow by the body, the Pummeler's favorite snack. The Cheez-Its had a temperature of 48 degrees when originally found by the body, and 30 minutes later they were 44 degrees. If the Cheez-Its had been in the murderer's pocket when she dragged the body outside, probably at room temperature, should they bring the Pummeler in for questioning? Explain why Detective Mitter should or should not. So your first thing on this is you have to find out basically when did the murder happen to start. The second one is Maddie the Pummeler a prime suspect that you should bring in for questioning from the information you have? Okay? Right now, I can just tell you, you're going to need Newton's law of cooling. The other thing I'm going to tell you is I do not expect you to solve all this algebraically. Okay? I should see, though, that you have written down equations, that you have things correctly written there. Like, the first thing you have to do, you're going to need to know how quickly is the dead body cooling outside. You're going to need a cooling rate. So I should see those kind of things. The more neat this is, the easier it is for me to find what you've done and help you if you're going astray. All right? So the first step is you have to kind of work your way backwards in time using what you can. Okay? So everyone can start that. You are allowed to converse with each other. This is not individualized. I'm fine with that. Okay, but each person will need to have their own paper to turn in afterwards. All right, and it's not due today. You will have until tomorrow to finish the entire thing. And you can ask me questions along the way, and I will try to give you a general thought. All right.
Okay, you got, I think it's 61. Because that's the,
That's the temperature after the 30.
I think that's the temperature after time. I somehow put it on 61 equals 22 plus 3.
Then we have 22 and 9.
And then 63 was the, I think, original.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then plus 22. And then I don't know, the E of K, or whatever it was, E to
Minus 22. And then E. And the side is 30. You put what?
That's what I put 30. I don't really know what to do after that.
Because I think it'd be, I don't know if it'd be 30 or yeah, I don't know if it's an hour. Did you solve it?
Well, yeah, but I got to the 39 over 85 for kids. I don't know what to do for that.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have to plug into the routine.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know what we put there.
I'm pretty sure that.
Should we
I
put
don't know if it's
third half or third minute?
so unless it's a minute or hours.
Maybe we get minutes.
Okay, I might just. So then it would be.
So then we get the natural volume.
31.
These six natural volume of 85 equals 30.
Did you get 39 over 41?
Over 40? What'd you do?
I'm pretty sure so that's supposed to be minus.
Oh, it's 50. Oh,
Yeah.
geez. So
Equals. You want me to just plug that in?
yeah, but there's a step after. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yes. Somebody else could have dropped cheese, but who knows? Good then. You never know. I don't know. So this is information I was getting passed on to you guys. Sounds like it. Sure sounds like it. Touchdown.
Oh. Time after.
Gives me a line.
So.
I'm good.
What would be the original?
Yeah, that makes sense. So from
The original?
the time that she was
Man.
to 2:38.
Great. What'd you put for like the time you found? When you took that one? That's at 1:45. The point or the 30. 30?
I think you can't, because you want it to be like that. Fine. I think we have to get it like 5 seconds.
When Grace trying to figure out what time she was killed. And what'd you put? Oh, the first one? The first one, yeah.
Hour and
Right